Don't play with me when it come to Israel. Don't play with me when it come to Jesus. And don't act like you know more scripture and you understand the Bible and historicity of the Bible more than I do.
Ashkenazi ancestry from Europe, even though it makes up a much larger portion of their genetics, since ancient genetic contribution becomes extremely diluted over time, contributing to less than 0.1% of their DNA on average after 10 generations. But
Time out. Where is he referencing? I wrote an entire article and I gave you peer review research that had been done to verify exactly what I said. He is saying things with no verifiable documentation whatsoever. If he can produce it, he needs to produce it. He hasn't said anything verifiably. He's just throwing a number out there, 0.1%. Where in the Bible does it say what percentage?
So this is pretty embarrassing. He's claiming I'm making this 0.1% up when it's literally a general principle in genetic population. You could ask any geneticist and they will tell you that DNA ancestry halves every generation. You get 50% from your parents, 25 from your grandparents, 12.5 from your great-grandparents, and so forth. You don't need a Bible verse for that, just basic common sense. Now, if the occupancy of the land is a result of this everlasting covenant that is solely based upon their genetics, then pray tell, explain to me why God breached that covenant and took credit for removing them in 722 BC, 586 BC, and ultimately in 70 AD, regardless of their genetic makeup.
You are lying. We can go to, and I got the Bible on my phone. Let's go to Romans 11:1. I asked then, has God rejected his people? Now, why in the world would Paul even bring that up if there's no such thing as God's chosen people? He goes on to say, by no means, for I myself am an Israelite, a descendant of Abraham, a member of the tribe of Benjamin.
So notice he completely avoids the question. This is a classic example of moving the category of discussion. Instead of actually answering why God breached the covenant and expelled them despite their genetics, he resorts to using Romans 11 verse 1, which, by the way, why are you reading it from your phone? If this verse is so important to you, why don't you have it memorized? Romans 11:1 says, I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid, for I am also an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. Now, contrary to this self-proclaimed scholar's interpretation, this verse isn't elevating genetics. On the contrary, the Apostle Paul is saying that he hasn't been cast away despite being an Israelite. How do we know? Well, because according to the chapter, Israel has been cast away. Verse 15 says, for if the casting away of them be the reconciling of the world. Verse 19 says that the branches, referring to Israel, has been broken off. To which Zionists will respond and say, yeah, but in the end times, they'll be grafted in. Which, if you believe that, then you have to concede that they're currently broken off, as noted by the fact that they have a need to be grafted in. Checkmate. And the question still stands. If genetics play a role in them inheriting the land, then explain to me why God removed them in 722, 586, and ultimately in 70 AD, despite their genetics not changing at all.